How do you feel about driving the dual carriageway section of road? Do you feel that that's something that you can deal with by yourself, or do you want any support from me?
I think I'm okay doing that.
Okay, shall I just have a little watch and maybe give you a little bit of a prompt or guidance if you need it?
Yeah,
Okay. I'll only do that though if it looks like I need to. Otherwise, I'll just let you crack on doing it. So yeah, if I'm not jumping in and saying anything, just assume you're fine. Just carry on. Cool. So let's have a quick chat about roundabouts then. Is there anything before we get into that though that you want to cover off in terms of the driving that we've done so far today?
don't think so.
Was there anything that was confusing to you at all on the dual carriageway?
No, because if that lorry didn't go in the other lane, I would have panicked a bit.
Right. Okay. Why?
Because then I wouldn't know if I had to like go faster or slower to then turn off.
Okay. Cool. So what have you learnt from that little experience? Because you're absolutely right. If he hadn't have moved across, it would have caused a bit of a problem, wouldn't it? So what would have been your options there?
To either go faster or go slower.
Yeah. Did you, given that you had a car in front of you, did you think you had time to go faster?
No.
Or space to go faster?
No.
So that cuts out one option, leaving you with the only other option to slow
slower.
down. So if we then think about any cars that were behind us at the time, if you start to slow down, because you have to, because the lorry isn't getting out of your way, what's that going to cause them to do?
Slow down.
Or,
Great. Panic.
well, they might do, but given they've got two lanes on the slip road, what else might they do?
Go into the other lane.
They might try and start to overtake you. Yeah. So then you've got the lorry that isn't moving out of the way, and then you've got another car next to you that's also blocking your path, and you're now rapidly running out of room because the slip road is disappearing. So if we were to replay that again, how do you think you might have done it slightly differently? Don't get me wrong, it wasn't a disaster. I'm not coming at this from a point of criticism of saying, well, you should have done this and you should have done that. But these are the subtleties that you get in driving. These are like the little decisions that you have to make every single time you get in a car, pretty much, because things are dynamic and we don't know what other people are going to do. So we need to pick up the visual clues, we need to think about them, we need to process them, understand what our options are, and then try and make a good judgment call based on what we think and what we can see is happening. So how might you have done it slightly different, you think?
Put my indicator on sooner.
How would that have helped?
So the lorry would have known I wanted to come out so he knew.
Yeah. So you did put a signal on, but you left it almost to the point when you were then starting to move across. Now the lorry driver could read what was happening, so he took a decision. But what if he couldn't move across because there were vehicles overtaking him?
Slow down.
He may have slowed down. What might else he have done if he slowed down to let you know that
Flash his lights.
he might have flashed his lights? Shouldn't use your lights like that to beckon people across because it can be misinterpreted. But it frequently happens, and again you need to pick up those clues. Same as if you're thinking about overtaking. You can stay in your lane, you can check, you think, well, it's not quite safe for me to move across at the moment because it looks like there's a car that's about to overtake me. But what I'll do is I'll pop my signal on so cars that are coming up from behind know that I want to move across, and then normally what you'll find is somebody will just start to ease off a little bit and they may or may not flash their lights. But you can check in your door mirror to see whether they are easing off or not and creating that safe space. If they don't ease off, then I would just still sit there with your indicator on, because the cars further back may not have been able to see your indicator because their view may have been blocked by the vehicles in front. And normally it'll only take 2 or 3 cars before somebody will decide to ease off, or there's just a natural gap for you to move into. Yeah? So yeah, we'll just try and learn what you can through those little things that happen, and the conversations that we have, and then just apply those in future if something similar types that tends to happen.